ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. So today we will be looking at the verse Eshame Sarvadharmana. Please chant with me, after me. Eshame Sarvadharmanam
Eshame Sarvadharmanam
Dharmodikatamo Mataha Yat Bhaktya Pundarikaksham Stavairarchena Rasada. So first I will do what is known as Padacheda, or breaking it into words. Yeshaha me sarvadharmanam dharmaha adhikatamaha mataha yat bhaktya pundarikaksham stavaihi archet naraha sada. So now the word Yeshaha would mean Vakshyamanaha, that which is going to be said very shortly. Eshaha means that which is going to be narrated shortly. What is that? The Vishnu Sahasranama. Eshaha Sarvadharmanam, among all the dharmas. What is Sarvadharma? Sarvadharmas means Samanya dharmas, which are said in the Veda. I will explain it in detail. But Sarvadharma, the word Sarvadharma means all dharmas, all Samanya dharmas, which are universal. Anybody belonging to any religion, caste, creed, they all should affirm to Sarvadharma. Yesham Sarvadharmanam Adhikatamaha. But even among all that Samani dharmas, there is one dharma which is the highest. What is that Adhikatamaha dharmaha? Yeshaha. This Vishnu Sahasranama. This chanting the name of Hari is the highest dharma. And also, how should you chant? Yet bhaktya, you should chant with devotion. Pundarikaksham stavaihi archet. By worshipping Pundarikaksha or Vishnu with each names. Stavaihi archet. Naraha. Sada, always. This is the basic meaning of the verse. That this Vishnu Sahasranama is the greatest among all dharmas. And one should have an attitude of reverence and surrender and take each name and do archana for the Lord. That is the verse meaning. Now I said this Sarvadharmana means dharmas which are universal. So the lawgiver of Hinduism is Manu. So we all look upon Manusmriti for understanding dharma, because he is the Dharma Shastra Karta. He is the one who gave us the Dharma Sutras. Manusmriti. Indian constitution is also based on this Manusmriti. So there he says, Dhridik Shama Damo Asteyam Shaucham Indriya Nigraha Dihi Vidya Satyam Akrodaha Dashakam Dharma Lakshanam. These 10 are called universal dharmas. So the first one he says is Dhritihi, the first dharma. Dhriti means Dhairyam. What is dhairyam? What is dhairyam? Vikara hetu sati vikrayante yesham na chetamsi sayeva dhiraha. Vikara hetu. Vikara means emotions. So when there are hetu or reason, the reason is right in front of you. Even at that point, na vikriyante. If your mind does not get perturbed, disturbed. Saha dhiraha. So what is a dhira? A person, though has enough reasons to be disturbed, still one who does not get disturbed, he is a dhira. So the best example would be Rama. He was presented with this idea of going to the forest on the eve of his coronation. Next day he is going to be the crown prince. That day he was said, go to the forest. He smiled and went to the forest. And smilingly he spent 14 years. Chadurdasha Samanitva. Susmeravadana. And then when he was recalled by Bharata to come back, again he smiled. So these external circumstances does not affect this dhira. So that is the first dharma. Everybody has to develop that courage. You need to figure it out. You have to understand. Because life will be full of disturbing circumstances. It is not going to be a cake in a platter. So you have to be prepared. And that preparation is the first dharma. That is dhirata. You have to gather courage before doing good. Number 2 is kshama. Kshama means endurance. The word kshama means endurance. Akrishtaha abhidavapi na akroshan hantiva. Akroshaha means somebody coming and shouting at you. Abhihataha means somebody coming and physically abusing you, physically hitting. Abhihataha. Even if when you get these two, the verbal as well as physical, you don't react in the same token. You don't shout back, or neither you raise your hand. So that attitude of forbearance, of endurance is called kshama. That is the second dharma. Dhridihi kshama. The third one is damaha. Dama. Usually it goes along with yama. Yama means antarindriya nigraha, or the control of mind. Damaha means bahyendriya nigraha. Kutsitat karmano vipra yacha chitta nivaranam. Kutsita karma means actions that are not allowed by elders. Elders, they don't allow certain action. That is called kutsitam karma. So avoiding these kutsitam karma with your external organs. What are the external organs? Srotram, chakshuhu, granam, hastapadu. With all these karmendriyas, you should avoid kutsitam karma, or actions that are chided by elders. That is called dhamma. That is the third dharma. So dhritihi, kshama, damaha. The fourth one is asteyam. Steyam means balat rahasi va paravittaharanam steyam. Balat means by force. By force, taking another one's property. That is called steyam. Rahasiva. And if you are not very powerful, what do? You secretly go and take their property. That is also called steyam. And asteyam is refraining from stealing. That is what basically asteyam means. That is the fourth samanya dharma. Dhritihi, kshama, damaha, asteyam. The fifth one is called as shaucham. Shaucham means being shuchi. So basically you know what shuchi means, taking a bath and all. But shaucham means abhakshya pariharascha samsargaschapi aninditaihi. Nindita means those who are frowned upon, those who do bad actions. Samsargaha means associating, touching them, associating with them. And abhakshya pariharaha. And eating food that is the food that is been not ordained in the Shastras. So we have to look at what are the good food that are allowed in the Shastra. We have got a list in the 17th chapter, the Gita. It says that sattvic food. Katvamla lavanatushna tishma rukshma vidahinaha. The food that causes thirst. The food which is very hot. The food which is very stale. All these are supposed to be bad food. So that is called abhakshya. The food which is not fit to be eaten. Oh, that is the word I am looking. Abhakshya means food that is not fit to be consumed. So that is called shuchi, shaucham. We call it muddy sometimes. So that is the fifth dharma. The sixth one is indriya nigraha. Indriyani means your external sense organs. Tasya nigraha. What is that? Kuranga, madanga, padanga, meena, bhringa, panchandi, ranjanti, naraha. So, learning from these five creatures, that is called indriya nigraha. Kuranga means deer. Those who know Tamil and Malayalam, they will think it is a monkey. So in Sanskrit, Kuranga means a deer. So this deer is a very soft creature, and the hunters in ancient India, the way they catch deer was, they would lay a trap and they would play music, and hearing this music, the deer will be snared and they will catch him. So by the Srotrendriya, by not controlling the sense of hearing, the deer gets caught. The next one is Kuranga Matanga. Matanga means an elephant. The elephant is very much enamored by the sense of touch. So they keep a Matangi. Matangi means a she elephant. So they keep it near a big hole. They just keep it there. So this elephant goes there to touch her. It wants to go and touch. Because of that not controlling the sense of touch, it goes and falls down on the big pit. So that needs to be controlled, the sense of touch. Kuranga, Madanga, Padanga. Padanga is this little flies which goes and falls on the lantern, on the diya, on the fire. It's like a fire moth, a moth. So because it cannot control a beautiful form, it is going and falling and dying. So we have to be very careful about being addicted to visual beauty. Kuranga, Matanga, Padanga, Meena. A meenam is a fish. So what meen has is, it has a great sense of taste. So even if you put something like a worm or something and put it inside the pond, it comes and tries to catch and gets caught. So we have to control taste. The last one is Bhringa. A Bhringa is a honeybee. How is the honeybee caught? Kalidasa has a beautiful verse. The honeybee, when it has the smell of honey, it goes and sits on the lotus. And then it starts drinking. A lotus has several filaments inside. So one by one, and it has a very long stalk which goes all the way down to the bottom. So it starts sucking this honey from each filament, and by the time it is done, it is sunset and the lotus closes and it is stuck inside. And what is the honeybee thinking when it is stuck inside? It says, Ratrir Gamishyati Bhavishyati Suprabhatam. This Ratri Gamishyati, the Ratri will go away slowly. Bhavishyati Suprabhatam, and early morning is going to come. When early morning comes, what happens? Bhaswan Udeshyati Hasishyati Pankaja Srihi. Bhaswan Udeshyati, the sun will rise up. And this Pankajam, this lotus will smile. What happens when the lotus smiles? It opens up. Itham Vichandayati Kosha Gate Durephe. Durepha means honeybee. And it is thinking all night that this is going to happen. The early morning, the sun will come and the lotus is going to smile and I am going to get out. At that moment, Hahanta Hanta, alas, oh my God, Nalinim Gaja Ujjahara, an elephant came and plucked this lotus. So that is the end of the bee. So these 5 creatures, they all get addicted to these senses and they all face their destruction. What happens to a human being who is endowed with all the 5 organs and they all are pulling you? Nice smell is pulling you, nice sound is pulling you, nice form is pulling you. That's why when you watch a TV, almost except taste, everything is there. That is the most addictive thing, the idiot box. All the 4 senses, it takes you. Hence you have to have the 6th virtue, which is called as Indriya Nigraha. So, Dhridihi, Kshama, Damosteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha. The next one is called Dihi. Dihi means intellect. But intellect has certain qualities which we have to develop. Dihi or Buddhi is a dharma. Unless you consciously cultivate, your Dihi will remain just a Buddhi. So how do you cultivate this Dihi? Susrusha. First thing to cultivate Buddhi is you have to do Susrusha. What is Susrusha? Srotam Ichha, an intense longing for hearing. Second one is Sravanam. Once you have the interest, naturally you go and listen. Then grahanam, whatever you are listening to, you should not sleep. You should capture. Grahanam, you have to capture it. So that is a conscious effort. It will require a conscious effort to listen to, hang on to each and every word and get in. That process is called as grahanam. And then dharanam, you held it, but after it is over, it should not go away. So if you want, you can take some notes or tape it, record it and hear again. Whichever way you can cause that dharanam. Dharanam is holding it in a receptacle of heart, your brain. Uha. Then you have to imagine. Uha means uha. You have to imagine. Oh, you have to imagine. Oh, this is what the Shastra is talking about. This is what it is. Then apoha. Then you have to go and ask the teacher. Then he will say you are wrong. Then apauha. You have to take away whatever you guessed. All the guessing work has to be put away. You should not hold on to it. Just because you thought it. If you get a better, if it can be dismissed, you should dismiss. That's why uha and apoha. You have to imagine. Also, you have to give up the imagination. So, or you have to imagine. You should not speculate. You can imagine, but don't speculate. Imagination has some basis. Speculation does not have. So that is apoha. And then artha vijnanam. Know the meaning. Don't move ahead without knowing properly. Then tattvajnanam will happen. This tattvajnanam is called the dharma, the dhi. That is the meaning of actual dhi. It should lead you to the tattvajnanam. Tattva means satyam, yatartham. Jnanam means knowing. Knowing as it is. If this is a hand, know it as a hand. Not anything more. Don't look at it like a Congress symbol or something. Just look at without any projection. As it is, understanding is called as tattvajnanam. So that is the seventh dharma, samanya dharma, dhi. The eighth one is vidya. Vidya is actually the 14 Vidyasthanas. We had explained it in the second class. Chaturdash Vidyasthana. The 6 Vedangas, the 4 Vedas, the 18 Puranas. We named each and every one of them in the second class. And then we have got akrodha. You know what krodha is? Krodha is anger. Now what is the reason of anger? The reason of anger is removal of kama. When you desire a chocolate and somebody says that you should not have it, then immediately the reaction is anger. First of all, you do a separation between you and that person who is telling you. If my wife is telling me, I am actually separating myself from her to get angry. If you think that you and this person is same, then there won't be anger. So what the Shastra says is, Ripau bandho swadehecha. Ripu means the shatru, the enemy. Bandhu means relations. Because mostly your enemies are your relations. Most of your enemies are your brothers, sisters, in-laws. That's where you get your enmity. Because you cannot be furious with an unknown person. Right. So you have to know them. So mostly bandhujanas are the characters which you are angry with, or who make you angry, or whom you make angry. So ripuhu bandhuhu and swadeha. Swadeha is the most desirable thing. Even if it does the most amazing mistake, still you will forgive your swadeha. You won't be angry with your own body. So you have to look at your ripu and your bandhu as swadeha. Can you do that? If you do that, then there won't be anger. So that is the only way to get over krodha. Ripo bandho swadehecha sama ekatmyam pashyataha. If you can see the ekatmya bhava, like swadeha, in ripu and bandhu, vivekinaha kutaha kopaha swadeha avayaveshu iva. Just like in your limbs, you don't get angry. You cannot get angry with a person whom you have identified with as if he is your own body. So that is the way to reach akrodha, and that is the final dharma. And it's a great virtue if you can get rid of anger in life, because it is like a fire you are holding. You are going to throw it on the other person, but before throwing, your hand is going to burn. Your heart will burn, and then only you can create destruction. Hence, akrodha is the final virtue, the 10th dharma. So these are the sarva dharmas. This is called sarva dharmas according to Manu, Manusmriti. 9th chapter 36th verse in the Manusmriti. So Eshame sarva dharmanam, we finished that much. Now he is saying dharmaha adhikatamaha madaha. He is saying that Vishnu Sahasranama is adhikam. It is more than all this akrodha, shaucha, indriya nigraha. Why? Here Shankara writes, because normally any dharma, the aforesaid dharmas, you need 4 things: Purushantara, Dravyantara, Deshantara, Kalantara, Niyamaha. For doing this dharma, you would need, for example, I said Dihi or Tattvajnanam, attaining knowledge is a dharma. You require a teacher or you require a student. So you require this Purushantara. For akrodha also, if you want to be refrained from anger, you need another person not to be angry with. So you require people. But for Vishnu Sahasranama, you don't need anybody. You can just sit with yourself and Vishnu and do it. So Purushantara apeksha nasti, number 1. Number 2, Dravyantara. You need dravya, substances, for other dharmas. And then Desha. You cannot do it in the cremation ground. Certain dharmas. You can only do certain dharmas in certain places. So Desha Niyama. For doing dharmas, you have Desha Niyamas. And then Kala Niyama. You cannot do it in the mid of night. Dharmas. But for Vishnu Sahasranama, there is no such niyamas. Suppose in the mid of the night you saw a bad dream and woke up that your house is burning or something, and then you are so disturbed. At that time you can chant Vishnu Sahasranama. It takes 19 minutes and 30 seconds. You are free from fear. Just try it, Vishnu Sahasranama. So that is the greatness of Vishnu Sahasranama. No Desha Niyama, no Kala Niyama, no Apeksha of Purushantara, and no Apeksha of Dravyantara. You don't have to give Dakshina for chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. No Dravyantara. So because of this, Dharmaha Adhikatamaha. There is a Bhishma is saying, this is the greatest of all dharmas. Then how should you chant this? Now we finished the first line. Eshame sarva dharmanam dharmaha adhikatamaha. Second line, Yet bhaktiya. You have to chant it with bhakti. And what is bhakti? Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. Upadhi vinirmuktam. Upadhi means limitation. So you should not limit your feeling for Vishnu. That I will do this bhakti only if I get this. That is called Upadhi bhakti. Upadhi bhakti means limiting with an adjunct. That is called Sopadhi bhakti. Upadhi rahita vinirmuktam tatparatvena. Tatpara means tatparya. We had discussed this earlier in the class in the Navavidha bhakti. So tatparya means lot of intent. It has to be very intensive. And nirmalam, it has to be pure. It cannot be the love you are going to give it to your neighbor with lot of riders. Love for Vishnu or God should be nirmala. It should be pure. Hrishikeshena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruttama. Hrishikam. Hrishikam means your sense organs. All your indriyas. Hrishikesha means Vishnu. So by all your sense organs, you worship Hrishikesha, Vishnu. That is called Uttama Bhakti. How do you do that? Jihve Kirtaya Keshavam. Hey Jihve, the tongue, sing about Keshava. Madhuripum Cheto Bhajaha. With your mind, think about Madhuripu. Panit Dvanda Samarchaya Achyutam. With both hands, do Archana to Achyuta. Netra Dvayam, you look at Hari's form. Padadvanda Harer Gechangri Yugmalayam. With your feet, you can go to Hari's temple. Like that, you can engage all your sense organs into Hrishikesha Sevanam. With your Hrishikesha, with your Hrishikam, with your sense organs. That is called Bhakti. So, Bhaktya, with this attitude. Pundarikaksham. What is the meaning of Pundarikaksham? Pundarika means lotus. What is lotus? Hridaya Pundarikam. The empty space which is in your heart, there you have to imagine a lotus. Close your eyes and imagine a lotus. Hridaya Pundarike. Prakasamanam Vasudevam. Already Vishnu is sitting there. Already Vishnu is seated. So, because you are not able to see it, to begin with you imagine. And slowly he will appear. That is called Bhaktya Pundarikaksham. Pundarikaksham means in the heart lotus, imagine Vasudeva who is already there. Why imagine? Because you are not able to see now, because ajnana. Slowly when you start looking, he will appear. Yad Bhaktya Pundarikaksham Archet. You do this archana. Vishnave Namaha, Vashatkaraya Namaha, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhave Namaha. 1,000 names. You can, whatever names you can, just do archana. And there is no dharma higher than this. That is the meaning of the verse. And who should do this? Naraha. Who should do this? Saver Archen Naraha. And when should he do? Sada. Sada means Trishu Kaleshu. Now, yesterday and tomorrow. Meaning there is no Kala Niyama. There is no Kala Niyama for remembering Vishnu. And what is the meaning of Naraha? Na Riyate iti Naraha. Naraha means a person who never vanishes. See, when you were 5 years old, you went to kindergarten, you can remember that. 10 years, you went to middle school, you can remember that. 15 years, high school, you can remember that. So, you never vanished. That is why you are called Naraha. You can relate to all the stages of your life. Similarly, you are also connected to several births. So, by chanting this, doing this dharma, the word Nara is used because that punya is attached to this Atma. And just like the Atma never vanishes, just like the Atma never perishes, this dharma also is, one time you do Vishnu Archana, it is attached to the soul and it goes with it forever. That is why the word Naraha is used. Na riyate, one who does not vanish. Even the body goes, you don't vanish. You are still continuing to be in another form. That is why the word Naraha used. And Sada is used to tell no Kala Niyama. So we'll chant it. Esha me sarva dharmanam.
Esha me sarva dharmanam.
Dharmo dikatamo mataha.
Dharmo dikatamo mataha.
Dharmaha adhikatamaha mataha. Yad bhaktya pundarikaksham staver archen rasada. I'll stop here.
Questions?
If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we can wind up.
I found it interesting that the 10 dharmas brought to me the 10 commandments. So the 10 figure is similar.
Right. Yeah. No, the Abrahamic religions, they came out of Hinduism. Because in Mahabharata there is a verse which says, Edihasti na tadanyatra. Because Vishnusahasranama is part of Mahabharata. It happens to be in the 8th or 9th canto of Mahabharata. All the war is over by 6th. In the beginning itself, Mahabharata war is over. So this is all dharma. Dharma samvada between Yudhishthira and Bhishma. So it says, Edihasti nadadanyatra. Whatever you find in Mahabharata, you cannot find it in other places. Other places means what? Other religions, other Dharma Shastra books. You cannot find. And yet, tatrasti, whatever you can find there, tadihasti. You will definitely find it here. Just by the sheer size, 16,000 verses, that large scripture is not available to any other part of the world or humanity. And also, the word Brahma, that is the main word for us. And Abraham, people like Rajneesh, when they talk, they say Iskul. I have seen it whenever you cannot pronounce a samyukta akshara like bra or ska, they put a vowel in front of it. In Tamil Nadu, Ranga, they say Arangam. It is just as a support. Some languages they have it. Punjabi, Tamil, they have that vowel just to support that Samyuktakshara consonant. So Brahma, Bra, Bagara Travarti, Repo Travarti, Akara. There are 3 aksharas in Bra. Brahma and Hakara and Makara. So hence they cannot pronounce. They said Abraham. Abraham. It could be. Hence, even the 10 commandments, I would say, they all must have a Vedic origin. And Vedas are not restricted to just India. The Vedic spheres can appear anywhere. Even in America, there can be Brahmins. Brahmin is a person who has the capacity to speak truth, who can uphold all these 10 qualities. That's why he says, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, Chadurvarnyam Maya Srishtam. I created these 4 orders of humanity, not in India. He must have created all Americans, South Africans, everything is created by God. So you cannot just restrict it to one place. So whoever is following dharma, these 10 commandments or these 10 rules, they should be a Brahmin. Gunataha. Gunataha, they should be a Brahmin. A knower of Brahman. Hence, the common sense dharmas, they all are universal for all humanity. And Mahabharata is the greatest source book, and it belongs to humanity. There is no other book which I know which explains the condition of human beings better. Like Bhishma, he was very fierce in his commitment to brahmacharya, meaning finding out what Brahman is. And Yudhishthira was very much committed to his dharmic actions. He would never compromise. He is called Ajadashatru. He has no enemies. Even when Duryodhana was caught by the Gandharva, he goes and fights. He helps them out. In fact, Arjuna scolds him so badly in the battlefield for being so good to enemies. And then Karna. There is no greater Danavira, person in charity. So each of these people, they all have done tapas. Harishchandra for Satya. So all these characters in Mahabharata, they have caught hold of this one quality, one dharma, one samanya dharma, and that is their gateway to all others. If you catch hold of Satyam, then all the 9 should follow. So all these 10 are not actually different. You cannot actually practice akrodha without practicing indriya nigraha, without practicing satya. You cannot tell a lie and then not be angry. So all of them are like facets of one Brahman, one Vishnu. It is his qualities. In fact, all these 10 qualities we spoke about, like Satyam, Satya, Satya, Parakramaha, there is a name coming up in the future. Brahmanaha, that's also coming. Dhihi, Udaradhihi, Vajaspati, Udaradhihi. When he talks about Gurur, Gurudamo, Dhamaha, Vajaspati, Udaradhihi. Dhihi is also there. Like Akrodaha. Akrodaha is also there in Vishnusahasranama. So all these 10 dharmas, it's already there in Vishnusahasranama. And when we read that, again, it's all a discourse on dharma. Vishnusahasranama is a treatise on dharma. That is why Shankara chose it to begin his Vyakhyana or commentary. So there is no...
the root cause for Krodha.
Yeah.
Desire
yeah.
completely, then
Yeah.
there is no question of Krodha.
The root cause of Krodha is in the Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate. Vishaya Dhyana. Vishaya Dhyana means you want your mind is attracted by something. That is called Vishaya, Vishayananda. And when it is attracted, then you start thinking about it constantly. How am I going to watch that movie? How am I going to get that object? That will be your obsession. This obsessive nature of the mind is called Sangha. The obsessive nature of the mind is called Sangha. So, dhyayato vishayan, by meditating or contemplating on the desired object, sangaha teshu upajayate. You will develop obsession. Sangha. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. That will lead to kama. What is kama? Ka is darkness, ma is light. From the subconscious, you get that lust, that deep desire for getting that object. That is called kama. And kama krodho vijayate. And when you don't get your kama, when somebody comes and stops, or you yourself say, no, I'm not going to have it now. With some punya you say that, but then you are not able to contain it. It becomes krodha. So, for the reason of krodha is always vishaya sakti, or attachment to sense organs. Adharmic, unreasonable attachment. So, there are two things like needs and wants. If you need something, that is legitimate, dharma. But when you want something for its own sake, then it is not legitimate. That will culminate and end up in krodha. This is the ladder to get to krodha. So you have to walk back to get away from krodha.
So in this context, then the idea would be, how would speculation and imagination contribute to it? Right? Imagination is something that is need.
Yeah.
So speculation, that's the one.
So speculation is the removal of imagination. Imagination is the removal of speculation. Imagination is wanted because you can speculate, thinking that krodha is a good thing. That krodha is, you can have a value for krodha. Then you have to imagine the opposite and disregard that speculation, or which gives value to krodha. Because people do say that krodha can be used as a tool to control. And for such people, they have great value for krodha. In fact, Bhima had a great value for krodha. Bhima was very angry. He was even angry with Krishna. But Krishna wouldn't mind. Krishna knew that. So he will show him some 10 laddus and so that kind of thing you have to do with your mind. So all these characters are ideas actually. Tagore called Mahabharata a book of ideas. So speculation is dangerous because it tends to make it final. You become the authority. You become the self-reference point. Whereas Shastra has to be. Shastra has to be your reference point. For that you need some imagination. Because without imagination you won't be able to you won't be able to analyze basically. When you reach speculation you kind of stagnate and you don't let go of it. That's why they are always together, Uha and Apoha.
How to control krodha? You see somebody
By controlling kama.
automatically.
By controlling kama. Immediate cause of krodha is kama. And how to control kama? By removing Vishaya Sangha. And how to control Vishaya Sangha? By coming to Satsanga.
So as a nara, you said nara means against you are in the same situation.
Nariyate, one who does not get destroyed.
One who doesn't get destroyed.
The Atma. Naraha means Atma.
Okay. But if the nara is attached to all these other dharmas you talk
Nara is not attached. Nara is Niskriya. He has no action.
Nara is you're talking of the Atma, not
Yeah,
the,
Atma is not
the
attached.
Physical, not the physical body.
Physical body is not Naraha.
No.
Physical body is Shariram. Then you call him Shariri. Body is attached. The Atma is not. Atma is... We don't know those things because we don't read the Upanishads. Once you start reading the Upanishads, you will clearly know that eyes are to see. You cannot hear with the eye. You cannot smell with the eye. Then you won't make that mistake. You will use your sense organs to do that things, and you will use your Atma to go back to Paramatma. Now, we are taking the powers of Atma and putting it on the body. Hence, we are making this mistake. Once you separate that, that is called becoming Ashoka, Vishoka, not having any wrong notions.
But
So,
the Atma is always attached to the karma, right?
not Atma,
No? It's
Manaha, mind. Atma has no attachment.
But
Atma is
the
Asanga.
Yeah, Punarjanma you have. You know,
It's
the
mind.
free-
The mind is the one which goes. Sukshma Sharira. There is Atma, there is Sukshma Sharira, there is Sthula Sharira. The Sthula Sharira is your body. The Sukshma Sharira is Antakarana, which has the mind also. It's your Sukshma Sharira, your subtle body. Your subtle body, it records everything, like your iPhone. Then take it to the next day, next month, next year, next body. It takes. That's why if you observe the activities of a person during the evening, whatever thoughts you ended up this night, that is the thought you are going to wake up next morning. So whatever thought you go from this world, that is the thought you are going to wake up in the next body.
So it's not attached to the Atma.
Atma is not attached to anything. Atma is asanga. That's why when you know that Atma, you become free. If the Atma was attached, you will never have moksha. Because Atma is asanga, Atma is ananda, Atma is sat, Atma is beyond all these trigunas. When you know it, you become free. Just like I am free now, for the moment.
So the mind is the which follows that Atma. So wherever Atma goes, he knows that that's your grantha, which is whatever you have done this life.
Mind cannot be itself. This is the process. Atma manasa sanyujyate. Atma has to be conscious. That consciousness has to give light to the mind. Unless you are conscious, the mind will not work. So the beginning of everything is you being conscious. Once you are conscious, the mind goes to the ear. The ear goes to the words. The word takes it back to the ear, takes back to the brain, and then you understand. So for the mind to do everything, the basic requirement is that you have to be alive. You have to be conscious. That is all Atma does. Atma does not do anything at all. Atma is like a lotus leaf. Lotus. It is not doing anything. Everything is done by this mind. The mind is the culprit. That is why he says, Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. He didn't say Atma is the karanam for moksha. Because Atma already has moksha. It's all ready. But the mind does not allow it. That is what he says. Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Lift your Atma with your mind. Don't let your Atma down with your mind. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. Your mind is your bandhu. Atmaiva ruvaratmanaha. Your mind is your enemy. What kind of mind is your enemy? Bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaiva atmana jitaha. The mind which has won over its sense organs, it's a friend. Anatmanastu shatrutve varted atmaiva shatruvat. If you have not controlled your mind, that mind is going to be your enemy. So it is a mind. It's all about mind. That's why you are called a man. Because you are manomaya. You are mind. Right now, you are not the mind, but you are thinking. That is why the very first verse of Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatkam is Mano buddhyahankara chittani naham chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am not the mind. Because that is the first thing you have to negate. If you get there, then you are Shiva. You are Mangala Swarupa.
After death, this Atma goes to the Lord.
Yeah.
Bhagavan. So
no, it has exhausted all desires. The mind has exhausted all desires, then it reaches Bhagavan. If it has not exhausted desires, it has to exhaust every desire. The desire is called as kama. Ka means darkness.
So
Anadi avidya.
Right.
Ma means knowledge. Unless the knowledge is attained of the desires, it's not going to go to the destination.
So how the next birth? How is the next birth? Because Atma
Next
is
birth
that
is
mind
because of
not
the desire.
attached?
Leftover desire.
So that desire stays in the Atma?
It stays in the Sukshma Sharira.
Sukshma Sharira.
Yeah. It doesn't stay in the Atma. Atma is free from...
Right.
Atma is consciousness.
Right.
It's like electricity. The bulb will not stick on the electricity. The bulb will not stick on the... But the bulb, in order to become enlightened, for the bulb to light up, you need electricity. But electricity will not touch it. You cannot catch hold of it.
Right.
Electricity is something intangible. But you can feel it because of the light. Similarly, Atma is Asanga. He is Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa and Ananda Swarupa. He is always happy. That is why even a little bit of unhappiness you are rejecting. Because that is not your Swarupa. It does not belong to you. Dukkha belongs to Anatma. It belongs to the thorn. That is why you reject it. Because you are always Sukhi, eternally happy. But your mind is not. That's why we are trying to get over the mind. We are trying to get over the mind. Only by the mind you can be free. There is no other way to moksha. Manasa manute. You become free by your mind. Because you got bonded in the first place by your mind. And your mind is your Sukshma Sharira.
So the next birth of human being.
Yes.
Atma, Man. So if Man is not attached to the Atma, or mind is that Sukshma Sharira is not following the Atma.
Yeah. See,
That's what happens as Sukshma Sharira follows Atma. That's how the person gets.
No, I'll tell you. This is the options man has got. Man has two options. Either it can attach with Atma, or it can attach with Indriyas. This is called Urdhvagati. If you look at Mahavir, eyes are half closed. There are no wrinkles in his eye. Because all the desires are exhausted. It's half open. And then there is a serpent coming from his top of the head. A serpent. That is the Amrita Dhara. All his energies has been, in meditation, it has been moved up. And the mind has attached itself to the Atma. And what happens in Manolaya? Mind disappears. That is called moksha. But as far as a little bit of desire, inkling, then the mind does not dissolve. Then you get attached. You come to exhaust it in the next birth.
Is it ever possible to get rid of all these desires
Yes.
as a human being?
Yes, because
Then you have to go become a...
because Krishna says it. Krishna says it. Like he has... he says, Bahuni te vetitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, you have passed through so many births. Tanyaham Vera Sarvani. I know what you were in the last birth. Nattam Vetha Parantapa. You can be a Parantapa. You can be the greatest scorcher of the enemies. One who makes enemies miserable. Parantapa means. But you don't know what happened in your previous birth. But I do. Why? Because Krishna is a self-realized person. Krishna is an avatar. His mind has gone up in meditation and has attached itself with Atma, which is himself. He is Paramatma. And Arjuna still has the mind. Hence, until he exhausts and exactly becomes Krishna, like Krishna, who has exhausted his mind and desire, he is going to be bonded. So, if it is possible, if you believe Krishna, if you trust Krishna, if you have Shraddha in Gita, it is possible. That is the only way we can, at this point of our predicament, our condition, that is the only way. Having Shraddha, giving him a benefit of doubt, we have to follow his words, not his actions, his words. Because he was even angry with Bhishma. He took that wheel and started throwing it on Bhishma. He keeps saying that don't be angry. He himself became angry. So for the sake of dharma, he has done certain questionable deeds. That's why we should follow his words. Every single word of Gita can take us to the next level.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Namaste. Namaste, Guruji.
Nahin, Guruji. So I'm sorry I came late. And
It happens, yeah. These people, they have recorded it, so they'll send it to you.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, please do.
So one of the challenges I'm struggling with is
Yeah.
that time coexists in past, present, and future.
Right. No, time is a relative thing. If I just doze off like this nap, it can be night for me. So it is actually day in your empirical reality, but in my phenomenal reality, it is night.
Right.
So what do you call it? Right now it is night in India.
Right.
And here it is. So there is no such thing as time if you are a scientist.
I see.
It is a relative thing.
So then how do we forget so easily things?
See,
So like Krishna says...
it is practice.
No, Krishna says, I remember all these births, right?
That is practice.
And
Remembrance
Right.
is a practice.
Right.
Forgetfulness is also a practice.
I see.
You forget because of your practices. Your lifestyle makes you forget things.
Okay.
If you have a lifestyle dedicated to practice and remembrance, which is called smarana, then you'll remember everything.
Okay, and how do I do that? Do you have a pill for that?
Practice is the pill.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at Saraswati, she is the goddess of education.
Right.
She has got a book in her hand. It is called the Veda.
Right.
The other hand, she has got a rosary, a mala. It has got 27 beads in it, if you count it.
Okay.
2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is the largest whole number.
Okay.
So if you are a dull-witted person like me,
Yeah.
you should repeat 108 times.
Okay.
A little intelligent like my brother, 54.
Okay. Oh, repeat what?
The phrase you want to remember.
Oh, I see.
So suppose you want to remember your wife's name. Repeat it.
What if
Practice.
I want to forget the wife's name?
Repeat it 1008 times.
But if I repeat it, I'll remember it.
Whatever concept like Tattvamasi, for example, you are that. You are that. You are not this body. You are that.
Take birth of your
So-
wife's next birth if you repeat.
Ravi, I'll come to you.
Sanjay, this is turning into a nightmare for me.
Yeah, that's why it's a practice with proper training.
So, like names, etc., mundane things, simple
Yeah.
things, right? So, you are saying whatever we want to remember, we should practice.
There is also one secret I didn't want to tell this
No,
to
tell
you
us the
because
secret. Yeah. We can't
Ahar
keep secret.
Shuddho Sattva Shuddhihi Sattva Shuddho Dhruva Smritihi. Ahar Shuddhi. When there is Ahar Shuddhi,
Food. Ahar
no. Ahara is not food. No. Ahara is not food. Ahara is not food.
Oh.
Ahara Shuddho Sattva Shuddhihi.
Yeah.
When your Ahara becomes pure, your Sattva will become pure. You have three things in your body.
What is ahar?
I'll tell you.
Oh,
You have three things in your body: Sattva, Raja, and Tamas.
right.
If your Tamas is purified,
Right.
you will get forgetfulness. If your Tamas become purified, if you are pure tamasic person, you will be blissfully forgetful. It is like drinking one bottle of red wine and sitting.
Oh, you're now living in ignorance. Yeah, happily.
Right. That is Tamas. But if you purify your Sattva, how do you do that? By purifying your Ahara. And what is Ahara? Ahriyante Indriyaihi iti Aharaha. So this mouth is one of the Indriyas. There are 11 Indriyas, including mind.
Right.
So whatever you get into your system, into your Sukshma Sharira, that is called Ahara. And by being very choosy, being very careful about what you choose to Ahara, choose to
Absorb.
absorb,
Right.
your Sattva will become pure. And Sattva, when it becomes pure, Dhruva Smritihi, you will be able to remember your past birth.
Party on.
That is Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Is it?
Patanjali Yoga Sutra, yeah.
That's the secret now.
It is in the Vyakhyan of Shankara,
Right.
the Shankara Bhashya.
Okay, so you have to.
You had
Now
to,
the 11 Indriyas, you got a perfect 11 of them.
at least try.
I'll try. That's logical way.
That's life regression.
So it helps memory.
Memory, yes. Dhir Dharanavati Meta Buddhistu Shemushimatihi. You have to start with Buddhi and go to Medha.
What's Meda?
Medha is the power of retention.
Okay, right.
Medha Shakti. If you have the power to retain things, then you are a Medhavi. If you don't have the power, you are just a Buddhishali.
Right.
Otherwise, you are a Buddhu.
Me.
Three gradations, you know. Tama, Raja, and Sattva. Rajas is Buddhi,
Right.
Buddha is Tamas, Medhavi is Sattva.
So Sattva leads to that. So what about Rajas? What does Rajas lead to?
This is for action.
Right.
How to run the kitchen.
Right. So I made tea. Right. So how do you so when you purify Rajas, what happens?
You become a very skillful actor.
Oh, alright. Oh, I
You
see.
need that. You need tamas.
Right.
If you don't go into sleep every night,
Rajas.
you are not going to touch your atma.
Right.
So in the night, you have to be very undisturbed sleep. For that, tamas is needed. So if you have an eventful day, then you will have an eventful night.
Right. Okay.
Tamas is needed. Tamas is Rudra is the god of tamas. Rudra, Shiva is the god of tamas.
Really?
Yes, Brahma is the god of rajas and Vishnu is the god of sattva. Tamas is not bad. It's good to be.
Forgetful.
Yes,
Sometimes.
yes, you're right.
They can forget.
But it should be at your will. It should be will based.
Right. So these gunas should be will-based. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is that why the Agois worship Shiva? Because they eat the flesh and everything? Is that tamasic?
He helps you control tama. Shiva helps you. He's the god of tamas, means he helps you control tama guna.
Control it, not do it.
No. Don't do it.
Common my hopes up for a little bit.
It's like common sense. All common sense, right? When you are talking about Buddha, who will say that you should kill?
Yeah, no.
Gita is like Buddha. It's called Nivritti Shastra.
Okay.
It's full of pure non-violence. Nowhere in the Gita there is violence. Show me one word in the Gita which is violent. One word in the Gita. Challenge.
Even though it's about
Challenge.
war.
It is not about war. It is in during the war. It's not about.
Okay, during the war.
Yeah.
And
it's
not
about
violent.
it's about freedom of mind.
Okay, and it's not violence.
No violence at all.
In the war.
No. In Gita,
So Gita.
there is no violence.
No. Of course, it's but Krishna persuaded Arjun to go fight.
Yeah, because he was a warrior.
Right. So go do violence.
No. Fighting is not violence. Fighting can be stopping violence. Suppose one boy comes with a gun, you go and stop him. Is it violence?
Fighting is his dharma.
Yeah, fighting is dharma, right? She knows it. She knows it.
I know.
Yeah. So there is no violence.
Because a lot of people look at Gita at surface.
No,
They say it's a warmongering.
they are wrong teachers.
No,
They don't have a good teacher.
Right.
A good teacher will teach them.
Right.
It has to be unfolded. Gita has to be learned from a teacher. 2nd chapter, 35th verse. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasena sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. A person who has really analyzed, who has imagined, speculated, seen all the pros and cons of the Gita, he will be able to teach you. It is not such a easy book. Nobody said that. It is a scripture of Hindus. It's the essence of Vedas. So don't expect it to be some simple Amar Chitragatha. You can have a Gita in Amar Chitragatha, but it's not that. It is just for beginners. We have all those things. It is the first book and the last book. First word and the last word of humanity. Not for just for Hindus. For the humanity.
The way of life. No, it's not.
No. Even a dog can have a way of life. It's a dog's way of life.
Beings, I'm saying.
No, Gita is not a way of life.
No.
Human beings can have a way of life. Gita is not a way of life. Gita is a teaching.
No. So I
How
think
to attain
when people say,
enlightenment.
That's a different thing.
right. So when people say
Yeah.
it's a way of life, what they often mean is it's not religion, it's not just ritual. It's the way to live, right? Isn't that what you meant?
Yeah.
Right.
Dharmic way to live. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
Dharmic way to live.
Okay, but Gita is not a way of life. Please understand that. Gita is not a way of life. That's all I'm saying.
So you would say it's a philosophy of life?
It's a teaching.
Right.
It's a teaching. Gita is a teaching. Gita means smritam, something that was remembered.
Right.
That is what Gita means. Anugita means Krishna remembers what his teacher taught him and he's telling us.
Or it doesn't mean song?
It also means I had a girlfriend. Gita. It means so many things.
You had a girlfriend named Gita? And what happened to her?
Nothing happened.
You are learning something else now. Don't go into this.
I ended up teaching her. I ended up
It
teaching
changed
her.
into Kalpana.
You're being recorded now.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ போயிடுது.
Okay.
I see.